Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Cedric Hicks. I'm the director for the City of Carson. And on behalf of the mayor of City of Carson and the council and our chief of police and also our president of Cal State University, being his Hills, I want to thank you for allowing us to be a part of the selection process and for the All-American Cities. Our group is here representing a small snapshot of the culture diversity of the City of Carson, which represents about 98,000 residents in the City of Carson. What you have before you right now, our panel, is representing that diversity as well. Carson is located in the south area of Los Angeles and is next to the city of Torrance and the city of Long Beach. We are here to actually help in representing what we do as diversity. Presenting today will be our gang diversion program, our Joseph B. Jr. and Marianne O'Neill Stroke Center, our Male Success Alliance, and the first to present will be our gang diversion program.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Deputy Frederick Noya. I'm the coordinator and developer of the gang diversion team, and I'm happy to be here. Prior to 2006, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department did not have a substantial intervention program in place. I'd meet at-risk kids who desperately wanted out of their negative lifestyle, and they would come to us for help. Unfortunately, at the time, all we could do was send them to some local programs without any follow-up. So I formed a winning strategy and called it the gang diversion team. We called it Carson GDT. It wasn't just trying to put a gang member or an at-risk youth into keeping them in a program just to keep them busy. It was much more than that. I partnered and created an MOU with different representatives of the community, such as school officials, mental health experts, university students who would act as mentors, and also faith-based organizations for a kid who needed some spiritual guidance. We started out with 10 programs, and now we have well over 50 organizations that we partnered up with. We meet every other month at our station and come up with a roadmap to their success. We have an efficient reporting system through our stats and an evaluation component. It's very important to us. To date, we've served over 900 young people and made a valuable and positive impact on their lives. The GDT is published in a peer-reviewed juvenile journal, and we have, I'm proud to say, a success rate over 70%, and it gets better. We now hold self-esteem classes through one of our collaborating organizations called PSI Love You. We have a tutoring center, and we send our kids on college tours. Most importantly, though, we've made some long-lasting friendships with our clients. I'd like to introduce now a former client and friend, Kiani Dean.
Good morning. In the year 2009, I was a troubled teen. I failed most of my classes. I was a student teachers hated to see on their roster. I was a kid parents said, don't let your child hang out with her. I did school. I ran away from home. I had problems at home with my siblings, my parents. I was really just a troubled child. I had no direction. I didn't have a desire to be anything more than what I was at that moment, which was a total failure. I didn't attend school on time. I didn't have a desire to even finish school. Up until the point where my grandmother, she took me over to the GDT team, and my life changed drastically. I began receiving mentoring, counseling, ways to have self-esteem. My self-esteem was so low. I didn't have any confidence. My vibe was wicked. People could tell that something was wrong with me by the way I would walk, the way I would talk. I didn't smile a lot. I wasn't sweet. And when I went to the GDT team, they taught me how to have confidence, how to be sweeter, how to be polite, how to show people that I'm better than what people believe me to be. I got my first tattoo in 7th grade. I was just a really wild child, and all because Carson seen a need in teens like me to change the direction I was going in. I was driving towards failure, and now I'm on the road to success. I'm a student at Hampton University. I passed all of my classes. I'm on the dean's list. I'm in a place in my life that I never thought I would be. Thank you. I'm in a place that I never thought I would be. I never thought that I would be recognized as being a smart child in a class. Anybody would hang around me. I would have friends like I have. And I'm your future doctor now. Thank you.
Good morning. Kiani just choked me up a little bit. My name is Danny Cook. I oversee the Joseph B. Jr. and Marianne O'Neill Stroke Center in the city of Carson. We currently have over 200 stroke survivors in our database. They reside in Carson and 22 other surrounding cities. They speak 7 different languages, and they range in age from 35 to 95 years old. I really wish I could have brought all 200 with me to fill up this stage. We would be a delegation of 207. But instead, I have time to tell you about one young man named Curtis. Curtis was a 31-year-old musician. He played trumpet and was traveling the world with the rock band Fishbone. On the morning of April 16, 2008, Curtis was at home in Carson, going through his usual routine, putting in his contact lenses, when suddenly he found himself on the floor, unable to get up. Curtis had suffered a stroke on the right side of his brain, which disabled the left side of his body. His friend Sharma was home at the time, and she called 911. Sharma became his full-time caregiver after the stroke. After months of recovery, Curtis, his therapeutic options ran out. Sharma was afraid to leave him home alone, so she did some research and she found the Carson Stroke Center. From the day Curtis arrived, he's been a fixture in the Stroke Center. He's the first one to arrive in the morning and often the last one to go home in the evening. His favorite class is Zumba, which he takes 3 days a week. He participated as a model in a fashion show, intergenerational fashion show, and he, most importantly, taught himself to play trumpet again, using just one hand. So this is a sample of Curtis playing a song called The Shadow of Your Smile, which is meaningful to him. As for Sharma, she's become our biggest advocate. She feels supported as a caregiver, and she gives back to the Stroke Center by providing free services such as Women's History and Black History events. In their absence, I'd like to read 2 quotes, a quote from each of them. Curtis says, "With the help of the center, I'm several steps closer to achieving my goal of full independence. Helping my fellow survivors at the Stroke Center helps me fulfill my purpose." Sharma adds that, as a caregiver, the Stroke Center is a place where I know my loved one is receiving optimal services and where his participation is valued. Our lives have changed since the day we started working with the Stroke Center. Our lives would be forever different without it. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Matthew Smith, and I have the pleasure of serving as the project coordinator for the Male Success Alliance at Cal State University, Dominguez Hills. Our middle school through college initiative was started in response to the poor educational and social outcomes for young men of color, locally and regionally and nationally. We now work with over 100 young men on our college campus, providing them with mentoring, academic support, professional development, getting them exposed to national conferences. And the philosophy behind what we do is simple. We believe our young men are more at promise than they are at risk. We believe that they are the answers to many of the challenges our society and their communities face. And so we provide them with asset-based programs that speak to their promise and speak to their potential as change agents. One of those opportunities for them to be change agents is working in our middle schools and high schools. They now mentor over 250 young men at schools in Carson, Long Beach, Compton, South Central LA, and Watts. Today, those young men facilitate workshops, meet with their parents, and give them college knowledge resources, and chaperone college visits and cultural field trips. Another significant impact that they have on our campus is our college students help to plan and carry out one of our signature events, which is our annual Spring Summit. This event, this year we partnered with 19 schools all over LA and brought over 700 young men of color to our campus for a one-day event designed to equip them with the tools and resources necessary for post-secondary success. At the event, these young men hear from guest speakers, attend workshops, a college and resource fair, and hear from our students about how they overcame challenges and obstacles in their way on their pursuit to higher education. The event continues to have a profound impact on the lives of the young men who attend and our young men who speak. For example, this year we received one of our speakers received an email from a student who attended who said he was contemplating suicide, and his friend drug him to the summit that day because his friend had gone the year before, and that after going to the summit and receiving that encouragement that he was no longer contemplating suicide, he was seeking help, and he wanted to just give us a big thanks for that. One of the young men that I would like to introduce you today to, who's been impacted by our program and has really helped out at our middle schools and high schools, is our current student body president, Mr. Alex Guerrero.
Good morning, everyone. And something that Matt was saying is the word impact. So I want to stay on that topic. And as much as I want to tell you my whole childhood, that's too many years to talk about. So I'll talk about my college years. And I'm a fourth-year senior now. but I'll start with my freshman year, where I was a man of color, where I come from an environment that was pretty harsh, and I realized it was survival of the fittest. And I go into college with that mentality. It's not the best thing. So because of that, I had a lack of confidence. I was really disconnected from the university, and I just didn't feel valued. And then, that whole year was just gone because I was a student that went to class, went back home. I was never on campus. It never worked out for me. But, I go into my summer, before my summer year, and I got referred to MSA. And the first person I met was actually Matthew Smith. He invited me to all the meetings and the retreats, and to this day, 2.5 years later, I haven't missed a single one. So I'm pretty dedicated. And the one thing that I gained from that was confidence. I gained leadership skills. I was voted as president. That was a big surprise for me. And I finally gained the ability to trust others around me. And because of that, I gained 100 new brothers, and I know they have my back like I have their back. And going into that trust, the impact that I feel I made on a student was when I got hired as a mentor for a local high school in South Central. And the student, he came into his sophomore year just like me, and he had a 0.5 GPA. He completely failed his first year. He had no motivation. It wasn't working out. I came into his life. I mentored him as best as I could. He got a 3.0 that academic semester, and he got his GPA up to a 2.0. And it was tremendous from where he started. And to this day, he's still doing good. He's trying to get those classes back up, and I'm happy that he's doing his thing. And on behalf of the city of Carson, we would like to thank you for this amazing opportunity, and I hope you guys can see how we celebrate our diversity. Thank you.